Imagine you wake up tomorrow and every other person on Earth is gone. The food is still there, the electricity still works, your house is untouched. At first it might feel like freedom, but long before hunger becomes the problem, your brain will begin fighting an enemy you can't see. The instinct to survive without other people is one of the most dangerous ideas modern culture has ever sold you. We treat independence like the highest form of strength. We celebrate the person who needs nothing, asks for nothing, and handles everything alone. But your nervous system did not evolve to operate like that. In fact, it evolved to do the opposite. For more than 99% of human history, being alone was not a lifestyle choice. It was a death sentence. If you got separated from your group, your odds of surviving the next 48 hours collapsed. Predators hunted you. The cold killed you. Injuries that another person could treat became fatal. Dehydration, infection, and starvation worked faster when no one was watching your back. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. The reason isolation was so dangerous was not just physical, it was neurological. Your brain evolved to treat other people as a survival resource as fundamental as food or water. In 2015, a meta-analysis published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences looked at data from over 3.4 million people. The researchers found something striking. Social isolation increased the risk of early death by roughly 29%. Loneliness increased it by 26%. Living alone increased it by 32%. To put that in perspective, those numbers are comparable to the mortality risk of obesity and smoking. Some studies suggest social isolation is more dangerous than being inactive 15 hours a day. This is not a metaphor. Isolation is a threat your body treats like a physical injury. But the strangest part is how it does this. When your brain registers that you are alone, it does not simply feel sad. It shifts into threat mode. Your stress hormones rise, your cortisol spikes, your immune system begins producing inflammation even if you are not sick. Your sleep quality drops. Your blood pressure climbs. It's the same biological cascade your body runs when you are physically in danger. In other words, your brain responds to loneliness the way it would respond to a predator in the dark. Think about that for a second. The discomfort you feel when you spend a weekend alone without speaking to anyone, the restlessness, the anxiety, the vague sense that something is wrong, that's not a personality flaw. That is your nervous system telling you that you are in a survival state your ancestors almost never survived. But the danger runs deeper than stress hormones. In 2011, neuroeconomist James Cohn published a study in Psychological Science that changed how scientists thought about human connection. He put women into an fMRI scanner and exposed them to the threat of a small electric shock. Some of them held the hand of a stranger, some held the hand of their spouse, some held no one at all. The results were immediate and dramatic. The women holding no one showed the highest threat activity in their brain. The women holding a stranger's hand showed less. The women holding their spouse's hand showed almost none. The brain did not just register the touch. It used the presence of another human being to cancel the threat. Physical contact with another person directly reduced fear response at a neurological level. But here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. This effect is not something humans invented. It is something humans inherited. In 2013, researchers at the University of California, Davis examined the hormone oxytocin in prairie voles, a small rodent that forms lifelong pair bonds and raises its young in family groups. When a prairie vole is placed near a partner or a family member, its body releases oxytocin and the stress response drops. When it is isolated, the stress response spikes, even if food and shelter are present. Prairie voles and humans last shared a common ancestor over 75 million years ago. The survival value of social bonds predates the entire human species. Now, here's where this gets more personal. Your brain is not built to function in isolation. It is built to function inside a network. Neuroscientists call it the social baseline model. The idea is simple. Your nervous system assumes other people are present the way your lungs assume oxygen is present. When they aren't, the system malfunctions. You become more reactive to negative events. You interpret neutral faces as hostile. You become more sensitive to pain. You struggle to think clearly. Your ability to regulate emotion weakens. Loneliness, in other words, is not just an emotion. It is a neurological state. And the longer it lasts, the more dangerous it becomes. Chronic social isolation has been linked to a 40% increased risk of dementia. It raises the risk of heart disease by 29%. It is associated with higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even suicide. In 2023, the U.S. Surgeon General released a report calling loneliness an epidemic. He compared its health impact to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That is not a comparison made lightly. But here's what the conversation around loneliness usually misses. It is not a modern problem that began with smartphones or social media. It is an ancient biological problem modern culture refuses to acknowledge. We were never built for the level of isolation we now treat as normal. We live in single-person households at the highest rate in human history. We interact through screens. We work remotely. We spend more of our lives alone than any previous generation. We didn't evolve past the need for connection. We just built a world that pretends the need doesn't exist. And that is the real danger. It is not that humans are weak. It is that humans are wired for something we are no longer providing for each other. Other people are not a luxury. They are not a comfort. They are not a personality preference. They are a survival mechanism written into your nervous system before you were born. Your brain did not evolve to thrive in silence. It evolved to regulate itself inside the presence of others, to read faces, hear voices, mirror emotion, and share risk. Every deep conversation, every moment of touch, every laugh with another person is doing something measurable to your body. You are not a self-contained unit. You never were. So no, you could not survive without other people. Not the way modern culture defines survival. Not the way we celebrate independence, introversion, or the myth of the lone individual. You might keep your body alive. You might keep your house running. You might keep your food in the fridge. But your brain would know the truth long before your body did. You are designed to exist in a network. And the moment that network disappears, your nervous system begins the slow, quiet process of falling apart. Every other human being you meet carries a piece of the system your survival depends on. And the longest any of our ancestors ever made it alone was not very long at all. You are not built for the silence. You were built for the people. And the moment you remove them, your body begins to do the one thing it was never designed to do. It begins to break.